Traditional console hardware is quickly becoming just one of the many alternatives of mainstream gaming. We're just a few short years away from cloud gaming becoming just as seamless as local hardware in many places around the world. Sony needed to get on board with someone to stay competitive, and with Google Stadia, Microsoft's XCloud, and mobile gaming taking headlines in front of next-generation consoles, Sony needed to get on board with someone in the cloud space to stay competitive, and that someone is Microsoft. This is Colt Eastwood. News has been buzzing all last week with Sony partnering with Microsoft for cloud gaming, and I'm late to bring you the news. Instead, we're going to talk about cloud gaming, streaming, and the two pinnacle services, PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass, and how they will compare in this changing industry. Before we get started, leave a like and subscribe to the channel and keep the conversation going. Let's see what's changed and what needs to be changing in gaming in 2019 and beyond. Sony has been in the cloud gaming business since 2015 when they launched PlayStation Now, in answer to a lack of backward compatibility with PS3 games. PlayStation Now offers a robust lineup of streamable PS3 games and now about 250 downloadable locally played PS4 games, with around 15 of those being AAA blockbuster hits. PlayStation Now is definitely more worthwhile in its last generation PS3 games library that must be streamed on older cloud tech on last decade hardware. So when it comes to streaming, which technically Sony is first to the table on console, PS Now as games as a service has not been a runaway success when compared to Xbox Game Pass. PS Now has roughly 80,000 subscribers compared to Xbox Game Pass at roughly 2 to 3 million subscribers and over 40 AAA blockbuster Xbox One games locally played in Xbox Game Pass. Last year, Sony opened up a job announcement for a software engineer for PlayStation to bring, quote, PlayStation games to multiple devices. As 2018 wrapped up, Google and Microsoft stepped in front of the gaming media to communicate a plan for cloud gaming on a massive scale. Google Stadia, a mid-power cloud-based gaming system more powerful than the current consoles, to launch just before the PS5 and the next Xbox. Microsoft announced XCloud, a game streaming service based on actual Xbox One hardware in data centers around the world with Azure. Sony was left with empty hands and just a singular job opening. PlayStation Now's Gaikai tech, born of technology of last decade, is not robust or well suited to push PlayStation cloud gaming into the next generation. Without the knowledge of the PlayStation division, Sony met with Google Stadia and Amazon's cloud division and ultimately decided that the cost and accessibility of Azure, Sony struck a deal with Microsoft for use of the Azure Cloud for their very own PlayStation Now, bringing gamers into the next generation online. Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida said that console gaming as we know it is niche, as streaming becomes more ubiquitous. Whether you personally believe that the global internet is up to the task of cloud streaming games, the technology is new and making it possible for millions of gamers, and for those it may not conform to, it should be of little concern, as it is not replacing local hardware for another 10 to 15 years. For those that do not want to play on a second screen, mobile screen, or tablet, cloud gaming is not for you. But you must understand that the broad reach of removing the upfront cost of a console or a PC to access gaming at home or on the go, Sony saw this need years before in 2015. In fact, Sony's former president and CEO, Jack Tretton, said Sony will face exponentially more competition with the PS5.
This is it, Xbox One.
The current generation was a literal cakewalk with the overpriced, underpowered Connect bundled Xbox One this generation and stellar first-party content from Sony Interactive Entertainment. Now with Xbox Game Studios working on multiple games with multiple studios made up of some of Sony and the industry's leading talent, Google Stadia pushing PC-like visuals on any device, Amazon and Netflix entering the ring with games played without the need of a console. The future is looking forward to bringing billions of people to the gaming experience that millions of us have enjoyed for decades by removing the barrier of a local console or PC in the home. But the gaming industry is evolving and improving, and eventually local hardware will be as mainstream as listening to music on a CD in a stereo system. So what does Microsoft stand to gain by allowing one of their biggest competitors to have access to the industry-leading streaming infrastructure? On top of cloud streaming for PlayStation games, Sony will have access to Azure's cloud compute, allowing bigger worlds and more powerful AI in games. PlayStation will be able to leverage Hive compute from Azure servers to live in-game worlds and round out what will make the next generation a truly next-level experience. Both Microsoft and Sony have something that the other wants. Sony has the money, and Microsoft has the tech. Sony's PlayStation division is the main breadwinner for the company, and the PS4 has made Sony a lot of money. Microsoft's Xbox division has only just recently been graced with a massive budget after enduring most of the Xbox One generation with little to no budget for first-party games development. Microsoft has spent the past decade building up the Azure Cloud infrastructure and placing data centers around the world. Sony knew it could not sustain PlayStation Now on the antiquated Gaikai streaming tech, now several years outdated. Sony's decision to partner with Microsoft has been one of the major upsets of the gaming industry for fans, but a celebration for gamers, keen to the future and pro-consumerism. In fact, now Nintendo is in talks to partner with Microsoft as well to use Azure Cloud Streaming on the Nintendo Switch platform. What's the point in buying consoles if there are no true exclusives? The point of buying a console is for the low-cost hardware that plays games with ease. PlayStation normally gives customers one option. With PlayStation Now, they will expand to other devices via streaming. Xbox gives you multiple choices, multi-tiered console hardware with a cost-based Xbox, PC, and XCloud game streaming, and a power-based Xbox. Microsoft doesn't care where you play their games as long as you're drawn to buy them in their ecosystem with the most diversity and the most options. The word exclusive in console gaming has become obscured over the past few years, with Xbox Play Anywhere bringing games to Xbox and PC. PlayStation Now allowing PS4 exclusives to be played on PC and other devices via streaming, Nintendo preparing their consumers for their games to run on mobile and other devices outside of Nintendo consoles, and in a strange turn of events, even PC, the freest form of gaming, experiencing exclusives with the Epic Game Store holding exclusivity on some of the year's biggest games. There will still be exclusives in a sense with first-party platform exclusives, as Microsoft and Sony draw customers to their consoles and their services to buy their unique games not found on the competitor's platform. This means that Halo, Gears, and Forza are not coming to PS5 or PlayStation Now. Inversely, God of War, Uncharted, and Gran Turismo are not coming to Xbox or Xbox Game Pass. For years, Microsoft has been preparing Xbox fans for a more option-driven future, with the PS4 and Xbox One generation led by Sony's first-party games in sales and quality. It's been a convenient argument that you, quote, need a PlayStation console to experience greatness. Streaming won't be the mainstream early on. You'll still want or need a console to have the best experience on Xbox or PlayStation. Software is the main moneymaker for Sony and Microsoft, not the console hardware. If these companies can widen the audience by increasing availability and accessibility of their games on multiple devices and great console hardware, Sony and Microsoft will make more money selling their unique library of games to billions instead of millions of gamers. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. It's been polarizing watching fans of PlayStation adjust to this news. On this channel, I mostly cover Xbox news, but I play a couple of amazing games each year on my PS4. If you like this video and the channel, subscribe and check out the weekly content. Add me on Xbox and Twitter and PlayStation at Colt Eastwood. My DMs are open, so if you have any questions, you can ask away. A little over 2 weeks left until E3. I can't wait to see what Microsoft and Xbox have planned for the next year and for the next gen in 2020. I hope you're having fun and enjoying games. I've already finished 9 games this year, with 2 more almost done, and I don't ever sleep. But I'm anxious to see what you all have to say in the comment section. And I expect certain people to be pretty upset about how the consoles are treating exclusives. So I'll be checking out that comment section soon, so while you're there, I hope you remember to be nice.